Welcome back to Hidden Marta, everybody. Now, the Hapeville station has been planned for quite a long time. Right here, we see Hapeville Station as it was envisioned in 1961. Near the bottom of the screen, at the center of this map, you see Hapeville, and then you see a Forest Park station. Now, there are multiple maps in the 60s, this one being 1961, locating those two stations, Hapeville and Forest Park. Now we're going to go a decade into the future for 1971. This is Hapeville. Now, this map is kind of hard, this 1971 map. But if you look at where East Point is, right, the airport station was built, but it wouldn't be used until the 80s. So if you look at near the bottom of the map and you see a branch, just know one of them is East Point, and the other one would be the Atlanta airport as they envisioned it. And then you'll see Hapeville. It's kind of a brown line, and you see a lot of white going side to side. And then you see Forest Park, and then this would eventually go all the way to Morrow and such, which is kind of familiar when you think about it. So this is Hapeville as envisioned in 1971. Now we have Hapeville Station as envisioned in the 80s and the 90s. As you see, a lot of that line has been erased. We don't see a Forest Park and snaking all the way to Morrow, but we do see the Hapeville Station branched off from East Point, right? So that much we do see. And yeah, that's Hapeville Station in the 80s and the 90s. And now we have the Hapeville Clayton expansion in the 2019 2020 something of that sort, right? Which revives the 1971. It was supposed to be in the 2019 2020. It's supposed to be Hapeville, Mountain View, Forest Park, Clayton, Morrow, similar to that 71 map, but we saw that this as well would not come into fruition because CSX would not allow them to share their little rail. So that failed. And I was thinking, could we have Hapeville Station at last? Hapeville Station at last, station at last. Thank God Almighty, we're expanding heavy rail transport at last. Transit. Anyway, in the red line, starting at East Point, it's 2.5 miles all the way to Hapeville, right? So I'm thinking this doesn't necessarily have to be heavy rail. Maybe this could be an airport people mover type thing, like the plane train or Mitsubishi's Sky Train. I think that's what produced it. So maybe we could have something like that goes from East Point all the way to Hapeville, above ground. Underground would be too much, so this would be above ground. This is the Hapeville Station at last. This is what I was thinking. And the international, I think from Hapeville, it would be interesting to have an international airport MARTA station, right? So you see it's snaking from where Hapeville is. It will go all the way into the Maynard Jackson International Terminal, and now you have Hapeville, and now you have the Hapeville Station at last, and you have the International Airport Station, which was a part of that original 71 map and the Clayton expansion. So you at least have those two. But wait, this year, March of this year, MARTA is trying to test automated vehicles at the Atlanta airport. So maybe my little Hapeville MARTA station and International Airport MARTA station may exist. This article, it was in the AJC, and it was a paid article. You can't find this article anywhere on the internet but the AJC. It's behind a paywall, and it's really a lot of technical stuff. It's not really worth putting, because I gotta go to my cell phone and go on that to go behind the paywall. But it's a lot of technical stuff. It's not. It's like a teaser. It's less of a movie trailer, more of a teaser, so to speak. except it's in written form, in articles. So it's pointless to put out. But yeah, maybe one day we will have a Hapeville MARTA station, because it has been in the works all the way from 61, 71, 80s, and 90s, and the Clayton expansion. And who knows, maybe this right here, they may eye Hapeville, because Hapeville has a lot of workers, right? It has a lot of airport workers. There's a flight museum. There's different entrance for airport workers to Delta, right? Flight museum, restaurants, other airport offices. So maybe if we can press, MARTA in the city, we can finally get a Hapeville MARTA station after all these years. All right, thanks. That's been another episode of Hitting Marta. I am out. Peace.